I read once in a book on auditions, called Audition, that in some professional auditions, stage is completely dark, except for a spotlight, usually downstage center. Now, for you non-theater types, downstage center is right about here where I'm standing. In those audition situations, the only question that the auditor, the person auditioning, is allowed to ask are, can you hear me? And am I in the light? Now, this is a different question than, can you see me? Now, some of the people auditioning will trick you and let you get away with, can you see me? And answer that question. Because sometimes they can see you and you're not always in the light. Because if they can see you and you're not in the light, they're not getting the best view of you that they can possibly get. And can you hear me and am I in the light are also the only two questions that they are obligated to answer. Now, what about Christians? Actually, I'm sorry, let me digress. I just remember the story. I was assistant directing production of Your Good Man, Charlie Brown, and there was a kid who absolutely fell in love with our Woodstock. And he was, after the show was over, he ran up, grabbed our Woodstock's hand, and he saw a pool of light on stage. He ran dead center and took a bow. It was the cutest thing I'd ever seen in my life. And of course, everybody applauded, and it was so cute. His mother was mortified. And she was trying to shoo him away. And she's behind me. I'm like, do you know how long it takes to teach adults how to find their light? He's a natural. I love this kid. I'm sorry, but I had to get that in. But what about the Christians? Christians trying to find their light. But if we walk in the light as He is in the light, we have fellowship with one with another. And the blood of Jesus Christ, His Son, cleanses us from all sin. Being in the light kind of seems like it's a big deal. But for the Christian, it's not just the light that the physical eyes see. It's the light that God reveals to them through the conviction of sin. It's the grace that's revealed through the offer of salvation. It's the guidance that is given through continued examination of the walk with God and being open to continue teaching and discipline. And if the Christian doesn't pay attention, well, a lot of the little holiness ladies that I knew, they called that backing up on light. And this backing up on light, well, most of the time that's not a snap judgment. It's not flipping a switch. That's right. Although that can and does happen. It's more of a gradual thing. It's a haziness. It's a haziness around the edges. It's a softening of your focus. It's a dimming. It's not just on and off. Things that were clearly understood now bring doubts to your mind. Critical sources that would never merit a second glance before now seem attractive. Where the Bible seems stodgy and old-fashioned. Before you know it, you're so far out of the light you have no idea where you're going. So, how does one stay in the light? Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled. Christians stay in the light God has for them by staying hungry. Sorry, channel the coach. Reading the Bible, asking God for understanding about what they just read. Talking with and asking questions to those who know more than they do. Reading other sources that enhance the light that the things they just read or things that they just heard about from people that they just talked to. Things that make you want to dig deeper into what God's taught you and has said to you, rather than make you just stop looking. You remember when teachers ever said to you that the only stupid question is the one that you don't ask? I like to think of God the same way. God's not afraid of doubts and questions.
Right.
If you don't have doubts, you have no reason to think and to make up questions. If you don't have questions, you don't get answers. And if you don't get answers, you don't learn anything. If you don't learn anything, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're dying. And who wants to do that sooner than they need to?